Hey, so right now we'll be watching Ōoku, The Inner Chambers, episode 3. And I don't really have much to say before I get into the episode, just that I'm curious to know how the Abbott went about his days after he was forced to submit allegedly to the demands of the Liege. But I don't know why, but I just realized that right now we're looking at the past because the current shogun is reading about it. I don't know why that slipped my mind. I was like, oh wait, that's true. She is reading records in history. Now that being said, on to the episode.
髪を伸ばすぞ。やはり決心は変わらぬの。変わらぬも何も丸めてしまっておりますよって。父としてはお前のような趣味にてならぬ。ゆえこれは私がの寺で仏学や華道にもう存分学ぶことが、それにより今まで知らなかった都は貧しい人らで裏通りでちぎれた弟の鼻水をすすってやる様子を見た時と思いましたのや。私にも夢はあり、ずれ稽古員の院主となって身を救うことにござります。すべてが何という。
But he did achieve it though. You weren't coerced, you were forced.
私も大奥に行きます。私も院主様と一緒に。出るのや局へ。もう今日へは二度と帰れんのや。稽古員に帰って。
Yeah, didn't matter what he served himself. He would follow him wherever. He's got a point. The Abbott was the one that saved him. But Buddha, I'm sure, also had a hand in it. But it doesn't matter. Just take him. Oh, I thought she was gonna survive. And dutiful, he didn't mean to die. Oh no. It's not her fault. Don't you have a son? Well, I mean, he's probably too young still. Oh. Gotta do yourselves now. Why would you need her permission? Just, there's no other option. Can't you help out with that? It's the reality of the situation. Oh, a palanquin. Couldn't just walk there? Oh shit. He's got hair now. He looks good with hair. Oh, he doesn't know yet, does he? Oh wait, I think he does know. He just assumed there would be at least still some women.
A woman! What?
Oh, I knew the other guy had to be like a dummy or a substitute, because they said there was a man and there was a woman. Okay, she's crazy. It makes sense he wouldn't care now that you made him not be the Abbott anymore. Oh. Huh. Oh yeah. So he really didn't report that he died. The real shogun. Oh. Yeah, he must have been young. He was 31 when he died. Subtract 17. Wow, what? So did he really like men after all? Oh no. He's probably gonna attack her. That's what saved her? Has he never seen younger women than his wet nurse? And then his daughter was born from that. Hmm. They killed the doctor too? Yeah. So y'all just can't show emotion? And also I can't believe that's his mother. The end of his line? Ah, there it is. What? Oh. Oh wow. Okay, that's why I saw on the outside he's dead. Okay, I thought she was actually gonna kill him, and I was like, no wait, he's alive. There is that girl. There really is no other option. Whoa. For what for? Not to mention you might spread the disease if you keep going abroad. Oh, it's to get her pregnant? Yeah. As if they would have let him leave anyways. I'm curious how she was raised, or if these past 6 years they really brainwashed her to be in this way. He looks nice in those colors. They really just be listening outside all the time. He has a point though, he will find out eventually, so. Yeah, that's what I thought. Not like you could anyways. Damn. As long as he gets money. Okay. What? Doesn't that make it easier? What with the look? He couldn't just know it from sleeping with the current shogun? He asked to go with you. He knew this before. He insisted. That's true, they would have silenced him. Oh no. She's gonna go see him. Oh no. A cat? That was a strange thing to throw. I guess that means she cares about him? That's an interesting gift. The hell, it always happens every time. I'm surprised. Well, I'm glad this episode is still following the Abbott and now his life in the Ōoku. And the fact that they keep referring to sexual assault as like not what it is, but I'm assuming maybe that's like a cultural thing of the time, maybe? Or no, not necessarily cultural, I mean more like just a testament of the time because it wasn't seen that way back then in many places. In some places it still actually isn't, I believe. So the fact that they refer to that shogun's illegitimate daughter as, oh, she should have never been born. I know they mean it in the sense that, yeah, she should not have been born. Like, he should not have an illegitimate child with a woman in town. But we can also take it to mean in the more modern sense of he should have never been out in town. He should have never taken advantage of that woman. And so if he hadn't done those things, his daughter really wouldn't be here. It's a tragic event that shouldn't have happened, but it did. But the only bright side for the people in the Ōoku is the fact that his line still goes on with his illegitimate daughter. And also her behavior is interesting. She seemed crazy when we first met her, but I'm assuming it has to do with Kasuga's influence over the past 6 years. Probably drilling into her head, you are the shogun, you're in charge, they have to obey you and all that. If that was drilled into her for the past 6 years, she of course is going to believe that and is just going to mistreat people all around. Though I am curious to know, since they killed both of the remaining courtesans to ensure that what happened that night was never leaked, what happened to her mother? Did they kill her too? Or is she somehow still there? The previous shogun's animosity towards women, and as a result, due to his own mother apparently not showing him any affection, and his wet nurse being overbearing and keep telling him like, oh, it's all for you, we're doing this all for you, and it probably in some ways making him feel inadequate. And the fact that when he was about to violate that woman, he did say like, oh look, I can lay with the woman, you see, I can do it. That line in particular really reminded me of the book series Julie of the Wolves, since in that book series, in the very first book, if I remember correctly, it deals with a young Eskimo woman who ends up being married off at a young age to a husband, I believe, who has a limp or some sort of disability. And while things seem fine at first, he ends up coming home one day really upset, saying how all the guys are making fun of him, how he couldn't sleep with the woman even if he tried, and then he tries to attack his own wife, and he says something similar, like, oh, they say that I can't lay with the woman, but I can. And then he actually does try to assault his wife, but unfortunately he wasn't able to. She managed to escape. It really reminded me of that scene in the anime. That if one is really in such a fragile mental state due to certain pressures, they can snap. These are people that really shouldn't be around others for at least a good while, or try to get into a better mindset where they don't snap and end up trying to hurt somebody, just to prove a point to others. I was surprised that they killed the courtesans though. At the very least, I assumed they would have kept the one that the Abbott slept with, but they didn't. And I'm curious to know exactly how much longer we're going to be seeing the Abbott and this shogun. Like for how many episodes going to focus on them and then go back to the current shogun. And it really does seem that the Abbott can't catch a break. His first meeting with the shogun, he gets hit repeatedly with a fan. And then the only good thing is, although there was an assault in this episode, I assumed that since somebody was walking really fast to the Abbott's room, I did think it was the Liege and that she was gonna go and force herself on him. But fortunately that wasn't the case. There was like one nice moment in this episode where she just throws a kitten at him and she's like, oh, he was crying outside my chambers, you take care of him. But yeah, all the men that are in the Ōoku, she chose him to take care of this kitten. I know it doesn't say much about her because she does expect more obedience and she did beat him to the point where he was bleeding from his mouth. But the bar is so low that this is still a good thing to see, that she can be nice. And honestly, it probably isn't entirely her fault either, because I'm sure she was raised fine the first 11 years of her life, but who knows how much brainwashing Kasuga has done the past 6 years. And not to mention the fact that they still have the mentality that only the men are important, and that she should dress as a man and act like a man. She really can't wear female clothing and act like a female. She really has to put on this act in order for nobody else outside the Ōoku to know the truth. Also, the misogyny is very strong. I don't know why I keep getting surprised, but I'm still like, women are also important no matter the time. If there is no males around, what's so bad about having the female be in charge? Like that lady with her mother-in-law, where she was like, you can't go work in the field, who's gonna take care of the house and raise the kids? Does she expect the fields to not be tilled and just pawn it off to the other women who are also busy, like her granddaughter said? If there is no other option, you literally have to do anything that you can do to help. She's already in her older stages of life. She can help with the household and the kids, while her daughter-in-law, granddaughter, and grandson go tend to the fields. I don't see the issue there. There's a necessity, there should be no issue. Unless she wants to starve. I've also wondered this as well. When it comes to this reverse female in charge, a bunch of male concubine situation, it typically worked in the normal way when it was the male in charge and multiple females, because he can get multiple females pregnant, and it's 100% sure, for the most part, that any kids that they bear inside the Ōoku were his. But now that it's female shoguns and a bunch of male concubines, how exactly do you know whose kid is whose? She can only give birth once a year. So how do they keep track of who's the father? And also, she can't keep going through births year after year after year, or however it is. That's not an effective way to do things. The body needs rest, and she can't keep having kid after kid after kid in hopes of getting a son. What if they're only daughters? What if she can only have one kid? Or what if one of the female shoguns is barren? What then? Also, the shirt that I'm wearing today says the phrase "say yes." Cause when I was looking for a shirt to wear and I saw this one, I immediately thought, well, it kind of fits with even the last episode, considering the fact that Kasuga literally forced the Abbott to say yes. That was the only answer he could give. He could say no, but to them a no was a yes. They still forced him to finally say yes to their demands. So this shirt kind of fits because it's like say yes, and pretty much in the Ōoku, you can only say yes. You can't say no. Sorry, Nudie. I hate your nose. Also, am I wrong, or does it seem that the current shogun's preferences towards any man in particular are actually taken into consideration? Because Kasuga did ask her, you must actually like this man to ask to see him again. And I'm like, does that matter? You're gonna make him sleep with her anyways, so what does it matter if she actually does like him or not? You forced him in there already, it was eventually gonna happen. I just found it weird how it did seem like there was some sort of consideration on her part for however the shogun feels. Now, having said all that, we can't wait to see what happens in the next episode.